Keep that bike rubber side down.
You right there, ladies and gents, thanks for watching. Recently my Beta's been having some problems. The fuel light won't turn itself off, and also my Speedo stopped working. So I got myself a couple of little bits to go and fix this, and I'm going to show you how I did so. First things first, I think the Speedo sensor is the offending item stopping my Speedo working, so I've got to change this cable out here. To sort the fuel light out, I need to take the seat off so I can get the tank off and get to all the gubbins underneath that. Taking the seat off is easy. All you have to do is a 90-degree twist on this little screw here and pop the seat off backwards. Next we need to remove the tank. Undo this nut here, that screw, that screw, that screw, and that screw. Once you've removed those bolts and screws, then you just need to lift the tank up. This is to allow us a little bit more room to get the hoses disconnected before we take off the tank completely. To remove the hose line, you have to disconnect the clip that pinches it onto the fuel tank. Once you've disconnected that clip, you'll be able to slide the fuel line off the fuel tank. You'll also need to disconnect the fuel light switch and pull the expansion hose up through the frame of the bike. You can now lift off the tank from the motorcycle. We can now remove the fuel tap from the petrol tank. Make sure the fuel is below the level of the fuel tap. Once you have removed both screws, you can now remove the fuel tap itself. It's a bit tight, needs a wiggle. We can now insert the new fuel tap. And replace the two screws that we removed from the original. Being careful not to over tighten. Next we need to remove the headlight and cowl. To do so, we need to undo this bolt here and this bolt here. The headlight cowl will now just pop off the front of the bike and dangle. We now need to disconnect the Speedo cable from the instrument cluster. And then feed the wire out to the left hand side of the motorcycle. I then needed to unclip the rest of the cable from the brake line. Both the brake line and the Speedo cable are clipped to the front forks. The Speedo sensor pickup is clamped onto the brake caliper. You need to remove the brake caliper to be able to get the Speedo cable disconnected. We now need to slacken off this lock nut. To untangle the Speedo cable from the brake caliper, you need to remove the brake caliper bleed nipple cover and then feed the cable past it. You should now be able to just unwind the Speedo cable from the brake caliper. You need to retain the nut that's on the old cable to put on the new cable. can now insert the new cable into the brake caliper. You need to ensure that the sensor does not foul the magnet on the brake disc. Adjust the thread of the cable to suit. You now need to tighten up the brake caliper bolts. And recheck that there's still clearance between the magnet and the sensor. Now we need to re-thread the cable around the caliper. So you need to remove the cap off the bleed nipple and put the cable between the brake line and the brake disc. We then reattach with the clips the Speedo cable to the brake line. Sorry for the bad framing. You now need to connect the brake line and Speedo cable to the fork clamp and continue to clip the cable all the way up the brake line to the dashboard. And then connect it to the connector. Then replace the headlight and headlight cowl. Replace the tank. Feed the tank vent down through the frame clip. These two lugs lock the tank in place. Push the tank onto the lugs. Reconnect the fuel line. And the fuel warning light connection. And tuck away the wire out of the way. Reconnect the plastics with the screws we removed earlier. And do the same on the other side too. Replace the bolt we removed from the tank earlier. Then reattach the seat, making sure that the lugs all align and don't crush. Slide it on underneath the lugs. Align the screw at the back of the seat with the hole, push down and click it into place. Moment of truth for the fuel light. Quick test. Success! Fuel light gone. Yippee! Moment of truth for the Speedo. Quick test. Success! Woohoo! Thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful, useful and entertaining and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, if you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button. It'd be awesome to have you come back for some more. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a little thumbs up too. If you didn't, you can always give it a little thumbs down. I don't mind, it's all good. Whatever you do, please do drop in a comment. It would be great to hear from you. Anyways, you ride safe, take care, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.
Gonna keep that body rubber side down. You know, you gotta keep that body rubber side down.